This is a game called Dungeons 3. It's a spiritual successor to Dungeon Keeper, an old classic game from, the late 90s. Of course, this is the third one in the series of the new series. I actually don't know if it's the same people involved or not, but it's got a lot of similarities to the old Dungeon Keeper, and it looks pretty fun. Hey, Asdif, how's it going? I'm going to do the tutorials because I've only done the first and barely remember it, so hopefully this won't take too long. How you doing, Asdif? Nope. Hey, troubleshooter. Well, that's good to hear. Glad things are going all right. What happened to you? Oh. Uh. Oh, seriously? God damn it.
The way the cold, hard capitalist world of evil works. Although a little gold could also be stored in the dungeon heart, the little snots, the strange name-giving evil's workers, had to travel long
Okay.
distances to do so.
Right. We'll start that over because the voiceovers are pretty good. Can you hear me? Also, what happened to your wrist, dude? That sucks.
Evil, evilness. The newcomer evil should learn the basics of dungeon management. Dungeon basics. The newcomer evil should learn the basics of dungeon management.
Wow, it read that to me twice. I guess it thinks I'm really dumb. It may not be wrong.
The still learning the ropes evil had decided to try the excellent tutorials. Good choice. In this childishly simple introductory mission, it would learn the basics of dungeon management. Things like digging, building rooms, and hiring and firing creatures. Everything a novice evil needs to know. First of all, it admired the center of its power, the dungeon heart. This, if possible, should never be broken, as that would lead to an inglorious and permanent end to the definitely wanting to avoid this at all costs evil. Naturally, the most important resource for any evil genius was gold. One could make the best things out of the glittering metal, and nary a creature was going to let the absolute evil hire it and push it around without a coin or two. Sad, I know, but that's the way the cold, hard capitalist world of evil works.
Figures.
Although little gold could also be stored in the dungeon heart, the little snots, the strange name-giving evil's workers, had to travel long distances to do so. It made much more sense to build a treasury nearby. The fast-learning evil immediately began doing so.
Dude, that sucks. Dogs have got some powerful muscles in their head, and in their necks, their jaws. Did it break anything or just get ripped up? Okay, that's R.
Sometimes the bored evil's little snots didn't work quickly enough. That was the time to give them a hearty slap with the hand of terror. Naturally, this had to be done immediately. The calculating evil threw a cagey glance at its population limits. These were divided into little snots and creatures. As opposed to creatures, little snots did not have to be hired separately, but were always regenerated up to the maximum limit. And so it was that the massacring evil didn't have to worry if one of these miserable creatures died. It simply had to wait for the next one. At the same time, the little snots were the dungeon workers who dug the galleries, mined the gold, and took care of any number of other things. That's why it was never a bad idea to increase their maximum limit. The thirsty for more little snots evil hurriedly began work. The corresponding research was kindly unlocked for the absolute evil. This was necessary in the tutorial in order not to confuse it with the wide range of possibilities. Besides, there are people out there who really do everything wrong.
Think it was talking to me? Or talking about me? If Pete's a human, set him up for a linebacker. Search menu. Aha! More little snots.
Unfortunately, creatures were a little more demanding than the miserable little snots. A hideout would have to be researched before creatures such as goblins and orcs could be hired. As loyal as the little snots were, they were unable to fight and took to their heels in panicked flight at the first sight of an enemy. Sighing, the unscrupulous evil set about providing a hideout.
Oh. Research the Hidiots. The hideout lies deep in the underground. Orcs and goblins brood over wild battle plans, tell stories of battles past, or mutually try to beat each other's heads in. That's a fine pastime. Doop. Oh, right. Gotta hire creatures.
The army-craving evil had hired a creature which would from now on do its dirty work. However, each creature consumed a population point. Fortunately, these could be increased just like the number of workers. Should it become necessary to recover a population point, the maliciously grinning evil could always use the egress located at its dungeon heart. Simply toss the creature onto it, a little pull of the lever, and... oh, whoops. Well, there it goes. These creatures were pretty spoiled. Not only did horde creatures demand their own bunks, they also wanted something to eat. Otherwise, they would soon refuse to do any work whatsoever and go on strike.
Bastards.
The deeply sighing evil had no other choice than to build his creatures a gobbler farm to satisfy their hunger.
Total War Three Kingdoms, is that... that's not Warhammer, is it? That's their own... or a different IP? Ooh, I found a gold vein. Oh yeah, I gotta research things. Gobbler Farm. Delicious, gobbling little creatures perfectly suited to satisfy the hunger of horde creatures and demons alike. Turkeys! Oh, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, right. When's it coming out? Do 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 do.
Excellent work. The gobbler farm was now ready. Later, the creatures would also demand other things, but for now, they were satisfied. The fast-learning evil had mastered the first tutorial with flying colors. Excellent work.
Nope, I win. Yay, I beat the tutorial. The first part of the tutorial. Look at all these stats. 0. Dougie! Okay, enough of that.
Evil, evilness. The fast-learning evil quickly set about sending its creatures into the overworld.
Oh.
The fast-learning evil had begun the second tutorial. It now more or less knew what it had to do to build a dungeon. Now it would turn to the overworld, where it would sow chaos and destruction. Up there waited a Isle of Good, which just begged to be destroyed. The impatient evil got right down to destroying. Before the overworld could be destroyed, a number of creatures would first have to be brought there. The Hand of Terror greedily reached out to grab some.
Oh, okay. I can just grab multiple creatures. That's kind of cool. Throw the creatures at the dungeon exit. All right.
First, creatures ventured out into the overworld. The destruction-craving evil could hardly wait to transform all those unbearably rich colors into 50 shades of gray. The true evil did not have the omnipotence in the overworld it was used to in the dungeon. Here, it had to direct its creatures the old-fashioned way, with orders.
So we got a little bit of Warcraft going on here, StarCraft type RTS going on. Oh shit, I think they see us. I can't get them to cower away. I lost one.
Ah, the Isle of Good had been destroyed. To the ground. This not only made for a more pleasant ambiance, but also produced some lovely evilness, which could be used for research. The researching evil quickly set about spending its evilness.
Zug zug, dabu. Jesus, it wants me to research just a few things here. Healing ray on a single horde target. Okay. Can lock defeated heroes up in the prison. Oh. Mana is stored where your demons extract additional mana from the environment. Wonder what it wants me to grab first. Do healing or guard room, that's boring.
Wait! Merciful crap!
O_Moon is now hosting my stream with 1 viewers.
Ooh, thanks for the host, Moon. Let's get spiders.
The spinning evil had researched the arachnids. These spider-legged creatures spit corrosive stuff at their opponents. Ugh, disgusting, but effective. The fantastic evil had understood the basics of the overworld and the advantages of evilness in the blink of an eye. Not that those were difficult concepts, but hey, you take what you can get.
Hey.
Good work.
I think the game is ripping on me again.
Dungeons for advanced students. The skilled evil quickly learn the skills needed to run a dungeon very efficiently.
We love efficiency. Efficient evil is good evil. Good, well, is evil good? I'm confused.
The knowledge-thirsty evil obviously couldn't get enough of these crazy tutorials. All right then, let's improve our knowledge of the dungeon. The absolute evil's creatures gathered experience from battles over the course of time, and thus reached new levels. This was to be welcomed, as higher-level creatures were much more powerful. Unfortunately, the creatures also became harder to please as their levels increased, and had the impudence to demand new things. Unbelievable! Well, that borders on treason. Horde creatures, for example, would later demand beer that they themselves produced in the brewery. But the brewery was still a long way off, as the annoyed evil's little snots had once again proved their lack of intelligence and hadn't built any workplaces in the dungeon.
Little snots, I still love.
Toolboxes would later be needed for the brewery. These were produced by little snots at workplaces in the workshop. Sighing, the once again disappointed by its workers' evil, set about building the workplace.
It says no room may be built here. Oh, derp. That sounded like something grunting for a minute there. Okay, it still does.
The little snots willingly set to work producing toolboxes with a stupid grin on their faces. These were needed to build the workplace in the brewery. A cast iron brewing kettle made out of toolboxes? Computer game logic. The not particularly known for its patience evil patiently waited for enough toolboxes to be available.
This is cute. This game is cute. I like it. What is this? Look at all this gold!
A whole pack of realm-forged staff was locked up in a buried room, probably because no one wanted to pay them anymore. They seemed to be more than just angry.
Oh shit. I unlocked something, didn't I? Uh-oh. Guess I did that prematurely.
The splendid evil had finally produced enough toolboxes by waiting in boredom. It quickly set about building the brewing kettle.
What's this? Ah, bolster all creatures on guard duty. Okay, cool. Oh good, my dudes are healing. Yay! Gotta expand this treasury. Come on here. Come on now.
The brewing kettle stood proudly, and the diligent little snots went directly to work producing the delicious brew, so that the horde creatures could soon start knocking it back. All that was missing was someone playing some good old-fashioned folk music. Then again, maybe not. Always makes my ears bleed. But now for something completely different, as the hard-working evil now had access to the lecture hall. There, additions to normal research in the form of scrolls could be made for small amounts of gold, time, and evilness. The always slathering for something new evil quickly began to try them out.
Check out my evil 6,666.
Payday!
Oh, it'd be awesome to be an evil overlord. Oh, I need to research something first. Derp. Stronger Dungeon Heart. Regenerating Dungeon Heart. Farther is better, increases imp range by blah. Regenerative wellness beds.
Excellent choice.
Store more beer. Oh, it'd be a blast to be an evil overlord. I'd be the kind that turtles in, builds up all sort, techs up the whole tree, and then overwhelms the good guys with just an absurd amount of power and resources.
Ah, a good choice.
We are still researching something, right? Yeah, there we go.
Splendid work. The good-humored evil had not only satisfied its alcoholic creatures, but at the same time learned more about research. It now considered itself well-equipped to begin converting the lessons learned into evil, nasty deeds.
Oh! Hey, I beat the world average by 5 seconds.
The final exam.
Uh-oh.
The chock full of knowledge evil now faced the challenge of preparing its dungeon for real dangers.
Ruh-roh.
And now it's time for a good book. I still have this comic, and if I were to make myself a drink, I could... Oh, wait. You're here? What? I thought we'd done all the tutorials. What do you mean the menu offers a 4th tutorial? But I don't have any more documents for that. I'd love to work with professionals just once. Those boneheads at Realmforge can't even get the main menu right. They're probably busy building the Berlin airport. Well, since you're already here, we can... Oh, crap. 3rd person. Well, since the already arrived evil was already there, I can probably forget that drink.
He's
But
still
keeping
bitter
him
from the
rooted
Stanley
in his
Parable.
hard-earned drink and his lovely Marvel comic book evil commenced yet another tutorial. In this one, it would, learn something about, traps and spells, like, how to make and use them. It was a pretty, free-form tutorial, as if someone had just made it up really quick. It was about defending the dungeon against attacking heroes. A few traps had already been placed. These were ready to make life difficult for every hero that approached them. Some others were manually triggered by a blow from the Hand of Terror. Here, timing was everything. The Arcanium already held a lot of mana ready to be used for powerful spells.
Alright. What is that? Oh, nice. So that makes a room work better. Okay, create crates. Gobblers! Gobblers! Nice, they make a hentai joke with the tentacle. 100 per attack, that's pretty good. Magic barrier. What does it expect me to do? Oh, use a manual trap, okay. Okay, there. We created a crate.
A
Go us.
suspicious trampling of heavy boots and clanging of armor was heard in the dungeon. Soon, the first heroes would enter the dungeon.
Bring it, you bastards!
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Got him, coach!
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Oh, there's more. Oh no, my thing broke. Oh, there. No, never mind. Well, I fucked that up. Where are all my guys? Oh, I guess we killed everybody.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Well, crap. How do I repair that?
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Can I pause the game? Oh dear, the ranger really didn't... Come on, one more. Ah, tits.
The dungeon heart is being attacked.
Useless ranger. Okay, I'm gonna have a problem here if I can't figure out where my guys are.
Payday.
Get up, you lazy bastards!
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Shit, I still don't know how to repair this. Knock them on their asses. Oh, I missed that guy again. I'm bad at this. Oh, there's my... Okay. There we go.
All right. Excellent work. The last hero had been fended off. The tutorial was finished. Finally, I can get back to my gin and tonic. I mean, super. Well done. So, now it's time you turn to other things. Things that don't stop me from drinking and from reading my comic.
Cool. Didn't lose anybody. I have no idea how. I didn't dig anything up. Dungeon Heart took a beating. I still couldn't figure out how to repair that trap. That's not a good thing. Maybe I just drop a snot on it? Gods angered through sacrifice? Forced to work by the hand of terror. Alright, well, this should be fun.
The shadow of absolute evil. The shadow of absolute evil had crossed the sea and now sought the chosen target, a dark elf named Talia.
I crossed the sea? Was there an intro I missed? Oh, whatever.
A long, long time ago.
There we go.
The absolute evil had, in the famous predecessor to this game, subjugated the known world and defeated good. Now, in a world full of blackness and despair, it spent its days sipping cocktails from the skulls of its enemies and forging new plans over a grilled unicorn kebab. Unfortunately, there wasn't much left to forge. A few orc wedges, the occasional trick played on the little snots. There just wasn't anything left to conquer. As the weeks and months passed, the absolute evil grew ever more reticent and seclusive. From time to time, one could hear a slight murmur from the depressed evil's secret laboratory in the depths of the dungeon. Its creatures grew more worried with each passing day, and even started to miss its ingenious evil tricks. It was a somewhat confusing time for them. No beatings, no torture, and no being sent to a senseless death. On the other hand, it was a rather nice change. Eons passed, and the unicorn supply dwindled until suddenly, one wonderful day, the evil genius evil joyfully burst from its secret laboratory. It finally had a new goal.
I've
An
discovered
unknown
pornography.
Continent, as often found in sequels, lay to the east, sheltered from the wicked evil by naught but a puny little ocean. It immediately had a fleet built. This was so powerful that it covered the horizon from north to south and was manned by the best and most powerful creatures at the devious evil's command. The fleet set sail for the crossing to this new continent, left the harbor, and sank. Yet that mattered naught to the couldn't give a hoot about its minions' evil. It instructed its goblins and little snots to design an even more powerful fleet.
Where the hell did it sink?
These new ships were gigantic. Loaded with devious evil's second-best creatures, the fleet set out. And that sank as well.
What the hell?
The annoyed evil saved his relentless anger towards the shipbuilders for later. Obviously, it would have to take care of the matter itself. With a sigh, it cast a spell and created a shadow of itself, a creature of absolute darkness and evilness. This shadow flew across the water towards the east.
Ah, that'd
There,
be me.
it would find a vessel, a corruptible being that would subjugate this land in the name of evil, and the shadow had the perfect target in mind. The great paladin Tanos, hero of the totally Eastern Kingdoms and a repugnantly good fellow. He was visiting the fatiguing library in Tristram with his comrades to see his foster daughter Talia.
Well now, Talia, tell me about your studies. Are you making progress with the writings of the ancient sages?
Yes, dear father, I have thoroughly digested it and have come a step closer to the good. The desire within me to do evil is defeated.
Oh.
Really? Excellent. I am proud of you, my child. Continue to concentrate on your studies. I must go to Stormbreeze to clear up a few matters. I'll be back soon.
Oh, we're gonna...
Meantime, my loyal friend Grimly will protect the country. Should anything trouble you, you can turn to him. Isn't that right, Grimly?
Aye, of course, Janos. I'll keep an eye on the damned elf. Your daughter. You can count on me.
Oh, we're gonna corrupt the hell out of her.
Then I'll see you soon, my friends. May the goddess watch over you, and the light burn eternally.
Bon voyage, dear father. I'll make you so proud of me. Who does good is good.
Yuck. Disgusting phrases like that always leave such a nasty taste in my mouth. These abnormally good heroes, on the other hand, had no inkling of the malignity gathered to the south. One moment a herd of sheep was peacefully grazing. The next moment, whomp! With a fulminant explosive effect that ate up half our special effects budget, the Shadow entered the world. His target, a dark elf caught between good and evil, was very close. As the shadow of the unspeakably evil moved through the world, all around it died. Plants withered. Animals perished. Sort of like a picnic with my family.
That's pretty cool. Stuff does turn around and die. Or turn gray, kind of, and die.
The shadow of the far-off evil found itself very, very close to Twistram. It could practically feel its target's presence.
Take these lanterns, men, and let the light of the goddess shine. For the night is dark and full of terrors. And there's a pile of horse poo around here somewhere. I trod in it earlier. For the darkness! I mean, for the light! Sorry, I'm still in training.
Where the hell is she?
Yes, well, that is somewhat suboptimal. Naturally, the shadow of the almighty evil was an incredibly powerful creature, but...
Oh, there she is.
Light was a bit of an issue. It would certainly be wise to stay out of the lantern light. Lanterns! Lanterns everywhere! Lanterns! You'd think some nutcase hung them all over the place just to be irritating. I'm supposed to be the evil one here. Whatever. The shadow of the nestled cozily before the fireplace evil was extremely sensitive to light and would inevitably take damage from it. It was important to avoid light as much as possible.
Aw, damn it. We have to get in there, don't we?